Now what we're going to do, could you come out here, Jamie, and Carrie guard Jamie. We're going to talk about defending screens, and I'm going to try to make this subject interesting because of all the subjects on the brochure, it seemed to be the least interesting to me after I browsed through everything. And the only thing I can say about the guys who were just here and their team, I was just stunned into silence just watching them. Your best defender against screens is pressure on the ball. Okay? That's always going to be your best defender. If you're getting smoked on cuts, it's because you're not pressuring the ball enough/properly. Okay? So here's a way to start with your on-ball stance. Now this is what we teach our kids. We're a pressure team. Now this will be my 5th year running our defense. If I had to, there's one thing that I'd like to be better at this year. I think we've been good in a lot of areas. But the thing that we have not committed to is to pressure the ball the way I feel that we should pressure the ball. In other words, to get so into the handler that we're insulting them and they're going to put it on the deck and go down to the baseline. That's what we want them to do. So we've told our kids in the preseason, if the passer can see the setup, if they can stand there and say, hey, what's the setup, then I'm not, as a defender, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, this may not apply to you because you may play zone and you may play soft and you may play pack. We play pressure and try to send it down to the baseline. So this is how we like to pressure the ball, and this ties in with defending screens. Carrie's on the ball. Carrie's top hand is to be the ball pressure hand, and Carrie's back hand is to be the passing pressure hand. And we'll call that a sickle, kind of a hooked farm tool type thing. And if she gets it back and windshield wipers with it a little bit and pressures the ball with her top hand, trying not to let Jamie get the ball over her head, then she's got a chance to put the most effective way to put pressure on the ball. Okay, now most kids will just come out and stand with their hands any way that they happen to be at that particular time. If we had never taught you anything, how would you guard the ball, Carrie? Just show me something. I mean, most people are going to be scarecrow, like this maybe, okay? And one thing I noticed when I watch those guys, they're throwing those passes, they're throwing them, the two passing windows are by the ear and by the thigh. So we want to try to take that away. We want to try to take it away, the window that occurs next to Carrie's ear. So Carrie's got live feet, she's got width, she's dropping her hips, she's pressuring the ball, and her responsibility is this. I have one job if I'm on the ball. In our defense, I have one job. My job is to make her put it on the floor and send her that way. If I'm not doing that, I'm not doing my job. If she can stand there and pass, I'm not doing my job. She puts it on the floor and goes that way, I'm not doing my job. Now that's not the end of the world because we have a shot clock. It's a non-threatening dribble. It doesn't do much helpful to the offense. But we don't even like to go into that gray area. We want them to put it on the floor and send it down that way. So it all starts with our on-ball stance in terms of defending screens because that will give everybody else who's dealing with all that crap more recovery time. Okay? So if you're getting beat on that type of stuff, that's the first thing that I would turn to. Are we pressuring the ball properly? Okay? Okay. Now, we're going to go through off-ball screens first. Now, we have a method of defending all off-ball screens that is exactly the same. Okay? And in your handout in there, and I don't expect you to look at it now, but we want to try to keep our kids aggressive and alert, something I learned from Coach Meyer, so that they can play hard all the time. We don't want to have one way to handle this screen, one way to handle that screen, one way to handle that screen. We want a universal way to handle every off-ball screen so our players can stay aggressive and alert. So, the first thing we do is talk about ball pressure. The second thing we do is teach the rules that they all need to know, guarding the cutter and guarding the screener. There are rules, and those rules cover all off-ball screens. Down screens, cross screens, flare screens, back screens, and combination screens, with the exception of staggers, which we'll talk about. That's a special circumstance. So, Coach Andy, can you be the passer on top? We're going to work on down screens first. Let's just be vanilla. Jamie, you have the ball. You're two-guard front, okay? You're going to pass to Coach Andy. T, you're out here on the wing. Crystal, you're guarding Tamara. Now, Crystal and Carrie are on defense. Now, here's another reason I think that if you don't have a method to keep your kids aggressive defending screens, maybe you should. Because I know this. I know that we deal with this constantly. Coach Freeman and I are always talking about we're not very good at setting and using screens. Our team. We're not very good. We never run through the shoulder. There's always space. I know you guys experience the same problem. Okay? It's a common problem. So if it's a common problem, then our method of being aggressive dealing with screens, in addition to that common problem, will put strain on the offense. Maybe they'll turn it over. Maybe we'll get an extra easy basket or so during the game. So the two things that I wanted to say about defending ball screens. One, off ball screens. Have a system that allows us to be aggressive and alert, and that system is predicated on the fact that most teams don't have good screening and cutting fundamentals. Not all, but most, okay? And the ones that do it doesn't matter because the system forces flares anyways. Flare screens, fade cuts. So let's take the down screen first, okay? Jamie's got the ball. Now we're going to take Carrie. We're going to take the rules for Carrie. She's guarding the screen. What's going to happen is you're going to throw to Coach Andy and then down screen for Tamara. That's what's going to happen. Standard vanilla down screen from 4-out motion, okay? We're going to take Carrie, okay? Give the ball back to Jamie. First rule, sprint to the ball. Throw the pass. Sprint to the ball. Okay? That's the first thing that she does. Now, we've gotten away from saying jump to the ball because we don't really want them jumping. You know? Jumping would be this. We want them sprinting to the ball because it's faster and it'll get them there quicker. I think everybody's doing that anyways. But jump to the ball is something that's been ingrained, I think, in us coaches for a while, and so that word tends to come out. Okay, Carrie's job. Jump to the ball. Now, she doesn't know what's going on yet. Right now, she's in a denial stance with her back elbow up. Okay, in case she gets back screened, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We don't want that swing pass. You could be a little closer to Jamie. Okay, now, Jamie's going to set a down screen. Now, rule number 2, when Carrie recognizes, when she recognizes Jamie setting a screen, she opens in her help stance. That's the second rule. The first rule is sprint to the ball. These are all in your packet. The second rule is open into my help stance. And the reason she's opening is so she's in a position to do the next thing, and that is to take away any cut from her to the basket. Okay? It could be a back cut by Tamara, a slip from Jamie. It doesn't make any difference. Carrie's job is to take away the low cut. Okay? So sprint to the ball, open when she recognizes her girl's screening, take away any low cut, and then number 4 is to recover to the proper position and stance that she's supposed to be in. Okay? That's Carrie's rule. Now let's start again. Give it to Jamie. Now we're just going to watch Carrie. Crystal, you do what you think you should do, but we're just watching Carrie right now. I want you to do all those things, Carrie. Okay? Here we go. Sprint to the ball. Open, open, open. Now recover. Okay, now that's pretty good right there. Now one of the things that I think is really important because we try to play pressure. We want to challenge the ball. We want to challenge first cutters. And we want to challenge second cutters. Okay? That's the difference, I think, in what we're trying to accomplish, maybe. Because a lot of people set screens just to step the second cutter out to either shoot, pass, or whatever. Okay? We don't want anything to be easy. So Carrie has to be alert to the term I'll use, second attention. Second attention. This is what happens normally. Okay? Can you guys do that again? Okay, go ahead. Open. Open. Now slow down. Now slow down. Now Carrie, just wait there for a second, okay? And then Jamie does her thing, okay? Like flashback to the ball, Jamie, because Carrie's in help too long, okay? Carrie did not, that would be an example of her not paying second attention, okay? Now let's show them an example of you paying second attention. Okay, here we go. Sprint to the ball. Open, open, open. Now back in your stance. Okay, that's good. That's good. There's no time to relax. So those are the rules for the person guarding the screener. Now let's go to Tamara and Crystal. Crystal's guarding the cutter. Ball goes to Andy. First rule, sprint to the ball. Now what that's going to do right away is going to make her much more difficult to screen. If you're a butt-hugging defender / screen magnet, you're in for a lot of physical problems during the course of the game. You're going to get nailed, okay? So what we want to do is sprint to the ball. So Crystal's sprinting to the ball. Now, in real life, she's not going to get that far over, but she's sure going to be working her way to get that far over, okay? Now, here Carrie's doing her thing. She's opening. Now, stop right there. Now, if Carrie has the low cut, that means that Crystal is responsible for anything high. So we say, hey, your job, Carrie Myers, raise your hand, is to get anything from the screen to the basket. And your job, Crystal Taylor, raise your hand, is to get anything from the screen to the midline. Now that's your responsibility. Now yesterday Coach Patterson talked a lot about team defense. Coach Brooks talks, all the coaches here are great coaches because they understand that the most important thing is team. Okay, that's the most important thing. So this is team defense. And to take that one step further, the idea of responsibility, and the idea of caring about people that are on your team, so you'll give effort because of them. So Crystal has 2 routes. She can go between Carrie and Jamie. That's called ball side. Do that. Ball side. That's beautiful, because what's her responsibility? Take away the high cut. Okay? She could go woman's side. Okay? Nothing wrong with that either. We'll give them the freedom to take the shortest route. But the fact of the matter is, most of the time, we want them to go ball side. Okay? So, let me show you what we don't want to have happen. Okay, let's start again. Okay, slow motion. Okay, now run into the screen, Crystal. Get the ball, Tamara. That's what we don't want to have happen. Who's not being responsible for what they're supposed to be doing? There's no gray area. Crystal, what's your job? Take away the high cut, right? That's her job. Okay, now, do it the way you're supposed to do it, all of you, okay? Go, 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 go. Okay, good. Now, Carrie did a great thing on second attention there. Now, that's why we want to challenge all that stuff. And at the same time, somebody's putting heat on the ball there, okay? Now, the ball's in the middle 1/3, which is a dangerous area. We can't quite put as much heat on it in the middle 1/3, but we're still going to put heat on the ball, okay? That's how we handle down screens, okay? And let's do something that we see a little bit more often. Let's put Tamara on the wing. Jamie, you're on the low block. You guys probably see this quite a bit. We see it quite a bit, just standard post screening down for a guard who pops out to the wing, okay? Now, Coach Andy has the ball. Let's say she's a point guard, bringing it right down from the middle of the floor. Okay, Crystal, you're going to be complete denial, butt to the ball. Carrie's complete denial. Bring it slow, bring it slow. Okay, bring it slow. Now, go Tamara. Walk, walk. Now, stop right there. Crystal, your job, there's no jumping to the ball right now, right? Because it's already there. When you see T screening, open, get in your help stance. Carrie can take 2 routes. What's your responsibility, Crystal? Anything low. Carrie, what's your responsibility? Anything high. Okay, let's do that. Get off the screen. Take care of your responsibility. Go, 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 go. Now, Crystal, second attention. Do it again. That's okay. That's okay. Back into your denial stance. Here we go. Go, Carrie. Go, Carrie. Go, Carrie. Now recover, Crystal. Okay, that's good. Right there. That's what we want. That's how we handle down screens. Okay? Now, let's take the same concepts and let's turn it into a back screen. So, T, you be down the block. Jamie, you're a wing. We'll give Jamie the ball. Now, we don't want this to happen because this would be swinging the ball, and we try not to allow swing passes, but for the example, we'll do it, okay? Ball goes on top. Now stop. Okay, both jump to the ball, right? Don't move yet, T. Okay? We don't know what's happening yet, okay? Now, T, you're going to come out and back screen Carrie. Now, by Carrie jumping to the ball, it's going to slow Tamara down just for a second because she's expecting Carrie to be staying right out here. You know what I mean? It messes up the screening angle a little bit. So, Carrie jumps to the ball. Okay, Crystal, Tamara screens, you open. Now, Carrie. Okay, do it again. Start over again. Okay, go slow. Go ahead, do it. Just roll through it. Roll through it. Okay, stop. Now, Carrie's got 2 routes. She could go that way or she could go that way. Doesn't make any difference. Don't care. Okay? Now, Crystal, you're in help, and then you're going to recover. Now, I'm going to shut up so you guys can do it one time. Try to do it properly. Okay? Live feet. Live feet. Live feet. Live feet. Recover. Now, here's the deal. This time, Crystal, I don't want you to sink so deep. Okay? Now, this is a common problem. It's a common problem to stay, 2 common problems. Number 1, Crystal would stay in help too long. If she stays in help for too long, it will hinder her chance to do the next thing that she has to do, which is to deny. Those are 2 different stances, okay? So that's one common problem. The second common problem is you will sink too deep on your help. So we tell our kids, when you're in help, you're one step off the passing line. If they go 2 steps off the passing line, they have too long to recover, okay? Now, I'll say this, we don't want to give up baskets. So they'll help as long and as deep as they need to so we don't give up layups, which leads me to the next thing, which I'll tell you in just a second. Okay, so try not to sink so deep this time, okay? Here we go, jump, 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 jump. Now get off the screen and recover. Now that's better right there, okay? You guys want to see that one more time? That's better, let's do it one more time. Jump to the ball, back up the line. Crystal, open, 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 open. Okay, now recover. Okay, try one more time. Now, Crystal, remember when Tamara screens, you're not deny, you're help. So get out of your denial stance and be in your help stance, okay? Here we go. Help, help, help. Now deny. Okay, now that was pretty good right there. Okay, now, this makes everything better. We would tell the person who's being screened, you have 1 second to get off the screen. 1,001. We're going to give you 1,001's worth of help, and that's it. Now, we're not really. We're going to give them as long as we need to, but we're going to say that. We're going to tell her, you have a second's worth of help, and you get off the screen in a second, okay? Just to speed things up. Okay, now, keep that concept in mind and try it again, okay? Jump to the ball. Jump to the ball. Open, open, get off the screen. Recover, recover, okay? That's the idea. Now that's really tough to do. You know what I'm saying? And when they can throw it to the second cutter, that means you're in help too long or you're sinking too deep. Now, next screen, cross screens. This might be helpful to you. Some of this stuff I don't know if you guys care about, but this you'll like. Okay, cross screens. Coach Andy's on the wing. Jamie, you be on this side. So you're screening a little for a post. Okay? Now, the ball's, we dead front the post. Carrie's dead fronting. Crystal's in help. 1 step off the passing line. 1 step off the passing line. Here's another mistake people make in help. They think they need to be parallel to the baseline. Everybody thinks a help stance means to be parallel to the baseline. A help stance for us means to be parallel to the passing line, okay? And Crystal made that adjustment right there. Now, let's talk about cross screens and use the same rules. The ball goes to the wing. Okay, now, Carrie's fronting Jamie. Now, we'd like to be physical with her in there. We're trying to seal the sealer. Knock her back a step, that kind of stuff. That's another thing I want to do better at this year. We got hurt with lobs last year because I didn't teach them enough of the proper things. So we're going to try to be more physical in the post. Now, Jamie takes 1 step away. If Carrie can't feel Jamie, she has to be able to see Jamie. Okay? Now what that does very simply is make her do what she would always do when she recognizes her girl is screening, get in your help stance. That's what she did. Okay? And she's responsible for what, Carrie? Any low cut. That's Carrie's job. Okay? Now Jamie, just set the screen and stop. Now Carrie, get how you should be. Now, Crystal's job. Well, jump to the ball. That's going to put her to help to begin with. Okay? Take away any... What kind of cut? High cut, okay? Take away any high cut and recover on any low cut, all right? Now, this is another common problem. These keep popping into my head. Do you guys have players on your team that take on cutters in help stances? You probably do, because that's what they'll do if you don't teach them otherwise. So let's just move Carrie and Jamie out of the way. Now let's pretend there is no screen and Tamara's just going to make a flash cut to get the ball. Doesn't make any difference that there's a screen or not. Her first step is the same thing. We tell our people in help, when they start inside like that, the very first step that they take, the cutter, gets you from your help stance into your denial stance. You're not helping anymore, you're denying. So, do it the wrong way. Take her on in your help stance. Cut, Tamara. Cut, Tamara. Now that's what you're going to get if you don't say otherwise, okay? First of all, you can't deny as well because you're in a help stance and not a denial stance. And the second reason is because you don't have as much strength because you can't just hunker down. So what we would tell Crystal is on the first step, turn into your denial stance, okay? Now, T's coming. Now you're going to meet her right there, and you can be as physical as you want to be. You can go get them. You can let them come to you. That's up to you. We want to tag her with an arm bar. Do that. Tag her with an arm bar. Get in a good stance. Bend your knees. Okay, and Crystal has the high cut. So if T goes high, that's what she's doing. Now let's put the whole thing together. Cross screen. Am I in anybody's way? Okay. Cross screen. Open, open, take away the high cut, recover. Okay, that's good. Carrie did good. Second attention. Very nice. Now, Tamara went low that time. Now, just do it slow to show, okay, Carrie, you and Jamie step off again. Okay, step T. Deny, Crystal. Now, take a step up, Tamara, and then go low. Right, Crystal's going to snap her head and ride her through. It's just like, that's just what we would do if the cut was happening up there and they went back door. It's all the same. Carrie's going to give a second worth of help, and then you're going to recover. And this is the situation where you'll stay in help too long, and they'll set the second cutter to the, who's a shooter up top, okay? All right, now let's do this. Be up the line. Pretend the ball's up there. I'll say pass. Pretend the ball's up there. Full denial stance, butt to the ball, get your chin on your shoulder, bend your back, elbow. Ball's up there right now. I'm going to say pass, then you jump to the ball. Ready? Pass. Okay, now do it. Go. Go. Nail it, Crystal. Recover, recover. That's good right there. All that's beautiful stuff right there, okay? And we're putting heat on the ball while that's going on. Okay, that's really good. So it doesn't matter if the cutter goes high or the cutter goes low. Doesn't make any difference. Okay, next. Final screening situation. Flare screens. Okay, we'll do it this way. Jamie, you get the ball on top. Carrie, you're guarding. Jamie T, you're the wing over there. Okay, now we'll pass the ball to Coach Andy. Sprint to the ball. All right, now. T, you're going to screen, so Crystal's job is when I recognize my player's going to screen, I open. I try to be just one step below in my help stance, second attention to the screener. Carrie's job is to take away any high cut. High cut. So back up a little bit, ladies, please. Hence, going over the top of the flare screen. Okay? Now do it slow. Carrie has the high cut. Okay, now if Carrie goes underneath Tamara, go underneath Tamara. Carrie, you don't, okay, go ahead, underneath. Okay, stop right there. Now, she doesn't have the high cut anymore. She's got the low cut now. Now we got two people with the low cut, nobody with the high cut. And what they're going to do is what he did. And just flare the shooter, step them back, and then we got a long closeout. If she can drive it, she's going by us right in the middle of the lane. So, we chase over top on flares. Okay? Let's do that again. Now, based on where the ball is, Carrie's going to do what she should do, okay? Okay, Crystal, open, 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 now recover. Now stop right there, Carrie. Now, that's exactly right. Carrie did the right thing. If the ball is not threatening to the receiver, and most teams, including us, like to punch it in there on the flare on a dribble and pitch it, okay? Guys, do that also, maybe? You could skip it from here, but most teams want to dribble in, suck everybody in, and pitch it to the flare. Now, our defense is predicated on not allowing that to happen to begin with, okay? So what Carrie has to do, I'm going to stop you guys right when you get to the screen. So, Carrie, get to the top of the screen. Crystal, be a step off. Be up a little bit closer to T. Okay, now, Carrie, just get your left foot over Tamara. Over, right there. Now, over her. Okay? Now, if she can get there, then she can just hunker down and see what's happening. And if this person's doing what they're supposed to be doing on the ball and Jamie keeps going, then Carrie just goes to help. She just goes to help because she's a help defender, okay? Now, if the ball does for some reason dribble towards the shooter, then she's got to move to deny, because if it goes to the top somehow, well, she's going to be in a complete denial stance where she would be if the ball happened to start there, okay? So, that's how we handle all off-ball screens, okay? Everyone has a responsibility. Low cut, high cut. Once they learn the rules allow them to stay aggressive and alert. Hopefully we have challenge on the ball, challenge on the first cut, challenge on the second cut. Now, if you're reading screens as an offensive team, what this should do is it should create flare screens and fade cuts. All down screens should be turned into flare screens and fade cuts if we're doing our defense right. Do you follow my thinking on that? Because we're never going to chase cutters. So let's go back to the very first thing that we did, where we did the down screen. The two-guard front down screen. Okay? Pass it and go slow. Okay, now stop right there. Now if Tamara's reading the screen and she's been taught to read the screen, what's she going to do? Jamie's going to change the angle. She's going to bump perpendicular to the screener's shoulders, and when they got a flare. Screen. Fade is the cut, flare is the screen. So what we can do then, so now who's then you got to get over the top of that, right? The person guarding the cutter. So, I mean, then you can just get really good at trying to defend flares, because essentially, that's what you're going to see a lot of. If we're ever getting curl cut or straight cut, we're doing something wrong. And you know what that is that we're not doing? We're not jumping to the ball. What's happening, this is what's happening, okay? Okay, Crystal, when the ball goes there, don't sprint to help. Just, okay, get in a stance to begin with, okay, stand up, down screen, okay? That's what, if you're standing up when the ball's passed, which is what we all fight against, then people are going to start doing that other stuff. If you're sprinting to where you're supposed to be, then you can create a situation where we're going to create flare screens and fade cuts, okay? Now, again, Coach Freeman decided what he wanted me to do this year, and I love the topic, but I'm not sure it's applicable to everyone here. It may only be applicable to a small percent, but to me it makes sense and how that fits into our defense, so our kids can remain aggressive and alert. They don't have to think, it's a down screen, I do this, you do that. It's a cross screen, I do this, you do that. At least don't get in that trap. I mean, have a consistent way to deal with all that stuff, okay? All right, that's off-ball stuff. Does anybody have any questions about, yes sir, Jim?
You see the flare coverage?
Yes. Okay, let's show them the flare screen again, okay? We'll just do it real slow. We'll take one step at a time, okay? Okay, pass, jump to the, sprint to the ball, all right? Stop. Now, Crystal's rule, Jim, when she recognizes that Tamara's going to screen, she gets in her help stance. At that point, she's responsible for any cut from the screen to the basket. I know what you're leading up to here, I think. Okay? Carrie's job, sprint to the ball, take away the high cut, clear the screen, see what's happening, get where she's supposed to be. Now, back up, Jamie. Now, Jamie curls the flare instead of fading the flare, okay? Now curl to the basket. Now whose job is that? That's Crystal's responsibility, okay? She has to take that, okay? How about this, okay? Come to the screen and slip the screen, Tamara. Okay, start again. Start again. Now again, who's responsible? We'll do it slow. See, false screen, slip. Now who's that? That's got to be Crystal, okay? Any low cut is Crystal, any high cut is Carrie. Okay? Does that make sense? Is that what you were getting at? That's what I thought. Sir?
Stacks.
I'm sorry?
Stacks.
Yeah, let's do a stack. Okay. Now we do this a little different. You're going to get nervous about this, but that's okay. Okay. Stack a post above a perimeter. Now, because we're an on-the-line, up-the-line defensive team, we would stack the stack. Now this is when you guys are going to think, what the heck is he talking about? Okay, Carrie. If Tamara and Crystal weren't there, where would you be on Jamie? Step out of the way, Tamara and Crystal. Okay. That's probably right. The rule for denial defense is the closer the ball gets to the receiver, the closer you get to the receiver. We want to be far enough away that we can't touch them and be able to steal a pass if they tried to throw it from there. Now, T. Don't move, Carrie and Jamie. T, step in. Okay, now Crystal, where would you be right now? Now, that's right. Now, you're going to think, they can't line up like that, man. They're just going to throw it in there and shoot a layup, okay? Now, that might happen, which leads me to this on sets, okay? Something to think about. One time, we can live with it. One time. They throw it in there, they catch it, they score. One time, we can live with it. If it happens twice, then we're getting uncomfortable, you guys and me. If it happens 3 times, we have to change. Now, chances are, this is going to be a more in-depth answer than you wanted, but I think it'll make sense. So, they're full denial stances, on the line, up the line, butt to the ball. Now let's do this, you guys. Let's show them the idea of, some of the groups I've talked to about this, some I haven't. I'd like you to get your back hand right up here around your collarbone in your denial stance. But now, there's a method to that madness right there, okay? We want them to have their elbows out when they deny. So they're not going to get their teeth rocked on back screens. Now, if you don't tell them this, they're going to do, what would you do if I didn't say a word about what to do with your back arm in a denial stance? What would you just, that's what they do right there. and they're going to get their teeth rocked on back screens. I promise you, okay? So what we've decided is we're going to take our back arm and we're going to get it up. I wish I could do this, but we're going to get it up here like this. So get it up here like that. Now if a kid back cuts, is all we're doing with our hands is snapping our head and throwing that arm around, and the other arm does what the arm that left just did. So we're just going back and forth like that. I'm all about simplicity. I'm all about consistency so they can play hard. So that's what we want to do with our elbows when we're in a denial stance, so we don't get back screened. Like this post thing out here, even if we're hugging our kid because we didn't sprint to the ball, they're going to be less likely to want to screen you if you have your elbow out. Okay, so full denial stance, all right? Just like that. Now, what bad things can happen here? Okay, let's say Jamie just pops out. Now let's follow the rules. Slow down, back up. Okay, Crystal's job. When she recognizes that Tamara's screening, she has to open into her help stance. Okay? You got that, Crystal? And you got to be at least even with T and maybe a little bit below because you got the low cut. All right? All right? And Carrie's job is to take away any high cut. Carrie's job is easy. She just jumps out early. Okay, now you guys ready to try to do that? Now, Carrie, you got the high cut, so don't get screened, okay? Go. Get out. Now, second attention to Crystal right there, which leads me to this. You can't let the post get to your feet. You can't guard the post body on body. So T, Carrie, you and Jamie stay out there. Carrie did a great job. T, what would you do right after the screen was done? She's going to try to step in. Now, Crystal, let her step in and get to your body. Let her do that. Do the incorrect thing. We don't want that situation right there, okay? How do you keep the post's feet away from your feet? We would use an arm bar, stay away from her with the arm bar, lean on her, and then circle around into your denial stance, okay? Now, do that, T. Step into it slow. Arm bar, Crystal. Arm bar. Keep your feet away from her feet. Now circle around into your denial stance, around towards the front. Right there, like that, okay? Now let's see if we can do that fast. So the thing I like about this is people just can't come down, stack, pop out, throw it to the wing, and they're running their stuff. We're challenging everything, okay? All right, go ahead. No, I'm sorry, stack. Do the whole thing. Get the high cut, Carrie. Get the high cut. You got the low cut, Crystal. Go, Jamie. Open, Crystal. Recover, Crystal. Okay, now if she'll do a good job with that, then we'll take care of that. Now, it gets even better, though. How many of you guys have your point guard run your stuff from the dead center of the floor? And my observations are that the point guard is going to take a step towards the side that they're going to throw the ball to. Because the coaches are going to be aggravated if they don't in some way try to shorten the pass to the receiver, okay? As a general rule. So what does that mean that's going on this side over here if there's another stack then? Let's just pull you guys over here. Okay? Do the same thing on this side. But now, the ball's going to go that way. So, Coach Andy, you're in the dead middle. Now, you guys are in denial stances. Get your back elbow up. Now, take one step that way. Now, what do you guys do now? That's exactly right. They're not denying anymore. They've declared a side. They've declared a ball side and a help side. So now we have these two moving to help, hopefully somebody on the ball who's doing something, a person who's Crystal, like we did in our example, opening, not letting her get to her feet, Carrie taking away the high cut, and then let's see if they can throw it from there to there. And if they can do it once, we can live with it. If they do it twice, one of these areas is breaking down. If they can do it 3 times, I'm a bad coach. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line. So that's how we would defend a stack. Was that a good enough explanation?
What if your pickers are shoulder to shoulder and they're running a baseline cutter off? Will you chase the cutter?
Like a side-by-side double and sending somebody through that way?
And if somebody's coming this way to the ball, low off the stack.
We would probably go over the top.
So you would send her over.
Yeah, and make them flare in a short area from where the screen is to the baseline. That's probably what we would do. Okay? Okay. Any questions about that so far? Yes, sir.
How high do you allow your post defender to go in the front position before you say, I don't have the backside lob moment?
The slip point. Okay, we call that a slip point. That's a great question. Let me say this, going back to the stack. Okay, can you guys get back in the stack again? Obviously, this is fine. Obviously, if Crystal's, take another step up. I mean, that's ridiculous, okay? She has to be up the line, but she can't be so far up the line that she can't, because she's responsible for the low cut. So she's got to be closer, move closer to T, move closer, move a little closer. Now, from there, can you open and get in your help stance and be below her as fast as you can? Because Carrie's getting out of your road here, okay? I think you can, okay? I think you can do it from there, all right? Okay, so why did I go into that? What did you just ask me?
I was asking about, because you were going to look for a little high-low action. But you
Oh yeah, slip point. Slip point, okay. Let's just take the two guards off. T, you front Crystal. Now, the first thing, let's talk about fronting first, and slip point will tie into that, okay? As I mentioned earlier, and my good friend Ray Card and his son Corky, I think, are two great coaches, and those guys helped me out with a lot of stuff. And one thing that I learned from them, which is something I should have known a long time ago, when we front the post, it very subtly became us just fronting the post, not being physical, not being aggressive, just letting, in that position right there. Now you think, well, there's nothing really wrong with that, but for me, again, simplicity. I tell our offensive posts, try to gain a foot on your first seal. So if Tamara's posting up Crystal, if Tamara's on offense and Crystal's on defense, or if Tamara's on defense and Crystal's on offense, doesn't make any difference, try to gain a foot on her. Okay, try to do that right now, Crystal. Or T, try to knock her back a step. Okay, now that's one thing that's gonna stop lob stuff from going on, okay? But let's say that you're not aggressive and you find that she's moving you away. Now there's a point, and I can't tell you where it is on the floor, but I think that you can feel it. There's a point where we call it a slip point, S-L-I-P, where you can no longer front that far out because there is so much space back there. And so what we would do, we always want to play from the baseline side up, okay? We would just try to slip. Go the other way, T. Low side, low hip. Okay, you're walked out this way, circle that way, circle that way, circle that way. Yeah, circle that way, but just spin around that way. Try again. You're doing good, T. Okay, now just roll your body around that. We would just okay, now let's put the whole thing together. Find yourself being moved out, back in, Crystal. Find yourself being moved out, T. Okay, find yourself being moved out. Now right about there, just roll around the other way. Something like that. We just want her to get low hip, okay, when she feels a slip point, okay? We don't want to go high hip, okay? Now, question?
Well, when will you use her to help on baseline drives, and who could give help to that post offensive player?
Okay. Carrie, you're the low I, okay? You're the low I. Crystal, you're fronting Tamara. Tamara, you're on offense. Okay, Jamie, you're a wing over there. Okay, now, what we're going to do this year is to trap everything. So we're on the ball right here, and we're telling the person who's guarding the post on the first penetrating dribble, you're coming aggressively and trapping, okay? Now, we'll have at least two people in the I formation, okay? Carrie, if there's another player out there, there'd be someone above her, maybe even a third person. But the lowest defender in the I, in the help, on the help line, has to help the helper, okay? And so she's going to go low side of Tamara, and wherever Tamara goes, she's going to guard her because she is now guarding Tamara temporarily, okay? So let's back up, okay, and just do the rotation, okay? Okay, come, Crystal, come, and Carrie's going right there. Is that what you're getting at? Now, Jamie, pretend you have that red jersey on. You're really on Carrie's team, and you're the high I. Okay? Now, help, along with the idea of help the helper, okay? Carrie's helping Crystal, Jamie's helping Carrie. We want Jamie to cover down, standard stuff. We say cover down to rebound and take away the baseline drift pass, those two reasons, okay? So we want to be outside the lane with our heels on the baseline. That way, if Coach Andy shoots it, you're in a position to, on the backside, if she keeps going and somehow, keep going to the baseline, somehow tries to get it across down there, then she's there for the baseline drift. Now let's do all of those things, okay? Get your feet alive now, ladies, okay? Live feet. Trap, trap, trap. Okay, go, 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 go. And that would be our standard rotation right there, okay? Now if there's a point guard up here, while all that happens, the person guarding the point guard is just covering down. That'll put him somewhere in the lane, okay? So everybody sinks to the level of the ball. I'm not sure I answered the question that you were asking. Did I do okay with it? Okay, Coach Card.
I thought perhaps he was asking, at what point when your post players in the offense do they not become involved in the rotating practice? In other words, if the post player is high up there, at what point don't they rotate off of their player?
Oh, okay.
At what point do you...
Okay. Okay.
Will they ever just drop down and try to shut off the baseline if you're getting beat on baseline dribble penetration?
Well,
They have to trap it.
okay. The answer to your question would be this. We will either trap with the post who's fronting, or we will trap with the low I person if there is no post. So if the post is at the mid-post area, let's just be on the second marker, okay? We would be in a complete denial stance, which would be butt to the ball, chin on your shoulder, there's the ball right there. Okay, now start moving down, T. Start moving down, T. Now Crystal would go from that position to fronting. So there's, again, a slip point from where I give up fronting and I turn into a denial defender, i.e. they're a perimeter instead of a post, and that's where I would change my stance along the way. But whoever is fronting the low post is automatically trapping. And if there is no person fronting the low post, then the lowest defender on the help line is coming to trap. Okay?
We started to see some situations where you have a post player can shoot, he'll drive baseline, pop the post player out.
Yeah, back this way.
On help, and she'll have to shoot.
Yeah, well, we would want two things. One, the guard on top covering down should be in the general vicinity. The second is that low I person is guarding that player. They got to go wherever that player happens to go. That's what we would do if we were getting hurt with that. Okay? Anybody else have questions? I have on-ball stuff. I have no time. I was going to get into combo screens, like screen this, cross screen, down screen stuff, but all of that is just the two screening situations combined. Like a cross screen would be handled as we handled a cross screen, and then the single down for the screener would be handled as we handle the down screen. Okay? Do we have two more of our girls out here? Eva, come join us, will you, quickly? Meredith, I can use you too. Hurry. Okay, thank you, ladies. Okay, now we're going to go cross screen, down screen, cross screen, down screen. Jamie, you be on this side, you'll screen for T. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Jamie's going to screen for Tamra, and then get one from Meredith. Cross screen, down screen. Okay, common stuff. We see it a lot. I don't know how much you guys see it, but it's common stuff. Okay, so let's back up. Okay, slow. Carrie opens. Crystal's got the high cut. Now, right here, stop. Now, Carrie, Crystal, you and Tamara, get out. You guys can get out. Now we have a down screen situation. Okay? Eva, when she realizes Amira's screening, she opens. Carrie's got the high cut, and Eva then recovers. Okay? Now let's see if we can do that quickly. Okay? Now, what's critical here is Crystal Taylor, because if Carrie has to give help for too long or too low, then she's not going to get to the shooter coming on top. So how long do you guys have to get off screens? Exactly. And if you go nail her when she first steps, there is no screen. You know what I'm saying? She's just a cutter. Okay? Let's back up. I'll tell you when to go. Get your feet live. Live feet, live feet, live feet, live feet, live feet, Carrie. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, now what I'd like you guys to do better is a little bit more chatty. Okay? Let's be more chatty. Talk screens, get off screens. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, that's better. That's how we would handle that, okay? Staggers, let's do staggers. Do we have time? Let's do staggers, okay? Just side-by-side double. Mary, you and T stand side-by-side at the free throw line. Or we can make it America's play. That's even better. Stay right here, Carrie. Okay, Carrie's a shooter. Carrie, Meredith, and Tamara, raise your hand because we're all mucked up now. Carrie, raise your hand. Those are the offensive players, okay? Now, Carrie is one of, if not the best shooters in our league, okay? We see this, everybody sees this. here's some thoughts on America's play. If that person is a great shooter, they're not going to want to be a great screener. Maybe, maybe not. And that's probably not true either. In this particular situation, they're going to be in a hurry to get off the double. Okay? If they really want to get shots, they probably should be a good screener. But in this situation, again, my observations have been that the person who is going to get the double is going to be in a hurry to screen and come. Okay? So the screening action is not going to be clean to begin with. So we're pretending there's a player over there, right? Okay? So Carrie's going to cross screen. Okay? Go. Jamie opens. Okay? And then there's that person getting off the screen. Okay? All that stuff is the same. Now, this is a special circumstance. This is how we handle staggers. Chase, zone, extend. Chase, zone, extend. Jamie's chasing, caboosing. Put your hit on her outside number and chase. Okay? We don't have to steal it. What we tell them is you just have to arrive when she arrives. That'll stop it. Okay? The worst thing you can do is get nailed on the screens, and because you have two to deal with, it's very risky to go through the middle. Okay? If you want to go this way, that's not the end of the world, but we want to chase. So, back up again. Jamie's job, chase. Okay? Crystal's job, zone. But since we've been using the word help, I should probably use the word help. So, you're going to be help, and you're going to be a little bit more this way because you got either cutter. Eva's job, extend. Now, Eva, let's do this to begin with. Lay your forearm right on Meredith. Okay, get your right arm out. Don't leave Meredith. Okay, now walk through it. Walk through it. Okay, go. Crystal, your help, your help, your help, your help, your help. Okay, now we hope that that'll pinball the cutter a little bit away from the screen. We're chasing, so we just have to arrive when she arrives. And here's the danger. That's why Crystal's positioning is critical. If she straddles the help line. Okay, let's do this. Eva, Jamie, Carrie, you guys can scoot. We don't need you. If she straddles the help line, there are two potential cutters. Well, there are two potential cutters anyways. But if she straddles the help line, the near cutter, Meredith, screener first, cutter second, can slip and catch it right there. So we would want Crystal to be over helping right there. She has either cutter. Now, if Mare steps, she's going to nail her and deny just like she normally would, even though she's not really in the exact position that she normally would be in. Okay, do you understand that concept? You have either cutter. So we got Eva making the cutter, who's the shooter, have to bump a little further out. Jamie's chasing so she doesn't get nailed on screens. Crystal's absorbing a cutter. Now, the best thing about this is this. The teams that you're playing, and then I'm going to be quiet because I know my time is up. One of the things we do when we scout is, are they a set, S-E-T, set team, or do they break at the slightest provocation? Okay? Now, if you're a real disciplined coach, your team's going to stand out here and pound the ball until all that stuff happens. And greatest strength, greatest weakness. If that's the case, then we want to pressure the dog out of the ball because we know you ain't driving it. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the other hand, if we know you're going to break, well, we're still going to pressure the ball, but these other kids have been told, look, they're not going to go through with this thing. She's going to try to rip it to the rim. And so we have to be able to get over here and give help. Who helps? Well, there's another player over there. Crystal's the obvious help person right here, and then everybody's just going to cover down to the ball. That's what we would do. But that's something to think about. So again, it goes back to the thing I very first started with. Your best defender on the ball, your best defender on screens is your on-ball defender. And if you know a team's just going to run their sets, run their sets, run their sets, and they don't have playmaker guards, or their coach doesn't allow them to be playmakers, I would pressure the dog out of the ball. You know, you're foolish if you don't. And do it effectively with a hand to pressure the ball, hand to pressure the pass. You know, don't stand like this. You know, do something other than that. And then one more note on this. If Carrie's just a phenomenal shooter and we don't want any risk at all, then we'll tell Eva to just extend the double further, you know, or she could actually leave Meredith. Okay, can we set that situation up? Okay, now Eva, this time you can step 1 or 2 steps away from Meredith to help Jamie so Carrie doesn't get a 3, okay? And Crystal, that means that you have to be extra aware of slips. Okay, ready? Okay, ready, go. Cross screen, cross screen, cross screen. You can extend, Eva. Okay? that would be an adjustment I would make against just a phenomenal 3, okay? All right. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your attention. Girls, you guys did a great job. Tremendous.